Hey everybody. Well, we've got a Queen Air update for you. The annual is done, 99% anyway. We got the new engine-driven fuel pumps in. The fuel pressure is a little bit high. We're going to adjust that a little bit. Got the new autopilot, recalibrated autopilot into the plane, and it checks out again 99%, maybe closer to 90 because the electric trim isn't working. And I kind of want that to work because without the electric trim working, you don't have altitude hold in autopilot and got some long trips planned. And I don't want to have to trim it up every 10 seconds, so got to get that working. Push the electric trim button, we can hear something working in the tail where the servos are, but not really sure what's exactly happening. So I've got my wife Kathy gonna help me out today as an expert avionics technician. She's gonna push the button for me while I climb into the tail and listen and try to see exactly what's happening. I don't know if the clutch is engaging on the autopilot trim, the elevator trim servos, but hopefully I can see what's going on. But either way, I needed some more information to help troubleshoot it so I can tell the avionics guys exactly what's happening. And once again, the best tug to the rescue. It's got this cool GPU or ground power unit feature on it, which allows me to power up the avionics and not run the battery down. So hop on in, Kathy, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. So we're gonna fire up I won't turn it on just yet. So this button right here is the electric trim button. It's got two sides to it. For it to work, you need to press them both at the same time. That's up and down. And so when I tell you press it up, you should press both buttons up and hold it until I tell you to stop. Press down, hold till I tell you to stop. Got it? So complicated. All right. And there's the tail boom of the Queen Air that I've got to climb into. There's the autopilot servo that's giving me trouble. They're a lot of fun to climb into. I spent a lot of time climbing in tail booms of aircraft over the years doing maintenance. They're not as bad as the hellhole in a Huey that I used to have to work on when I was a mechanic on helicopters in the Army. The hellhole was a lot of fun to climb up into. It was basically a vertical coffin filled with all kinds of machinery and stuff you had to work on. They always got super hot in the summertime and very cramped, and you'd get a little claustrophobic in there, but you had work to do in there, and there really wasn't any way around that. And there's no way around this. I've got to get in there. Luckily, the tail of the Queen Air is pretty big, so you can actually climb into it. There is an access panel up there, but can't really see much from there, so I've got to actually climb into the tail. Spent a lot of time in the tail boom of aircraft over the years. Now the key to climbing around is to not press on the actual metal. You can push on the ribs a little bit, but you don't want to bend them, and you definitely don't want to put any tension on any of the control cables because they're all rigged to a certain tension and you don't want to mess it up. So without further ado, okay, Kath, push the up button. Okay, stop. Get a little closer here. Cables everywhere. All right, do it again. Stop. Down. Stop. If you look next to your right knee, there's a big wheel. Turn that. You see the wheel?
There's 3 wheels.
The great big wheel, that black wheel next to your right leg.
Okay.
Spin it. Huh?
Up or down?
Doesn't matter. Okay. Oops, that's the right one. What is here going? Okay, do it down. Oh, I mean the button down. Ah. Up. Push it up. Stop. All right. That is all. I have established that it's still inoperative. Hooray. Well, that was slightly disappointing. You know, whenever you're trying to figure out a problem or diagnose something on an airplane, it's always your hope that you see something glaringly obvious. It's not plugged in. There's a pencil jammed in the cables. Something easy to diagnose, cheap to fix. It's never cheap to fix. But at least that's your hope. But in this case, don't know. The servos are making servo sounds, but the cables aren't moving and the pulley's not turning, so I guess I'm going to leave it to the experts and let them figure it out. Aside from that, like I mentioned, she's almost ready to get signed off. We'll probably be signing it off on Friday because that's the first of the month, and that gives us 13 months of annual next year. Always got to look for those loopholes. And we'll do some test flights and shoot some approaches and make sure everything's working good, and then we've got some big trips planned, so I'm really looking forward to it. Connor can't wait to get his hand on the Queen Air with his brand new multi-engine rating, so I'm pretty excited to fly with Connor. But until then, I guess we go back to troubleshooting and till I can get the experts in here. Looks like I got some waxing to do because, in case you haven't noticed, the Queen Air is big and there's a lot to wax on it, so what are you gonna do? Gotta have a shiny airplane. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Queen Air updates, and as always, keep your speed up.